Good morning. It's 6:30 in the morning and I'm going to have a wild day and I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to do a 16-hour reselling workday. And yes, I'll have breaks in there to eat, to play with the dog. But I'm going to try and stay focused and get as much done as I can in 16 hours. I just let the dog out so she could go frolic. The birds are going crazy in my trees. So it is definitely time to get going. I am going to make a quick cup of coffee and I'm immediately going to go upstairs to take some photos first. I don't really have a plan today, but I'll figure that out as I go. And let's see what we can get done. It's going to be a long one. Oh, it's going to be such a long one, but it'll be good. All right, pardon the mess. I showed houses yesterday. So I have some real estate stuff right here. I've got some thrifting stuff that I picked up a couple days ago. And I'm gonna actually set my Poshmark to be shared right now before I go upstairs. Okay, so I'm upstairs about to take photos. It's 6:42 in the morning. I have some coffee and I'm just gonna take photos probably for an hour and then go downstairs, sit, get some listings done. Yeah. Okay, so I cleaned up some of my piles up here, just piles for stuff that I need to film for a haul, and I got 13 items photographed. It is 7:48, so I'm gonna go sit outside with the dog and create drafts on my phone for those 13 items, let her run around and play out in my front yard, and then I'll come back in and do a little listing. What are you doing? Let's go. Working on my drafts on my bench out front, and I noticed the dog is just rolling around on a dead animal. Gross. What are you doing? What are you doing? You just want to cuddle and enjoy the view? All right, it's 8:30 and I have my 13 drafts. So I'm gonna sit here and edit and list these on eBay. So it is 9:56, almost 10. It took me a little longer to list those because I was watching YouTube at the same time. So I was distracted, but I'm gonna cross list these items to Poshmark. And then my office is kind of a hot mess again. So there's a few hauls that I filmed that I just need to put that stuff in inventory. So I think I'm going to work on my office and put that stuff in inventory, which will probably take a couple hours. And then maybe make an early lunch. We'll see. I really don't have a to-do list today, which is kind of unlike me, but it's a long day and I'm just like, just keep going, you know? All right, so I just cross-listed. Let's see how bad this room is. Yep, it happened again. It just happens. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's a step in the right direction. Most of this stuff is either returns or damaged items that I need to decide what I want to do with. That box is like taxes for files. So I'll come back here in a little bit and kind of get this a little bit better. But for right now, already a huge improvement. So, all right, so it's 10:48 and I didn't eat breakfast, so I'm definitely pretty hungry. So I'm gonna have brunch. It's Sunday, I can do that. And I'm gonna have my favorite, who is also the sponsor of today's video, which is no surprise. They have been supporting this channel for a while. So let's get to cooking. This is one of my favorite meals that I have ordered multiple times. It's the ground pork egg roll bowls. And I'm starving. So if you are new to my channel and you don't know what Green Chef is, it is a CCOF certified organic meal kit company that allows you to cook clean and delicious dinners with step-by-step recipes and pre-measured premium ingredients so that you save time. For me, during a busy work day like today's extreme challenge, I don't want to think about what I have to cook or what I want to cook. So it's really great to have an easy to follow meal in my fridge. And I also love the fact that I save time each week on grocery shopping, which allows me to use that time for busy days like today. Crazy days like today. One of the other things I love about Green Chef is they have options for every lifestyle, which includes keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, fast and fit, Mediterranean, and gluten-free. Or if you're like me, you can mix and match and always have a lot of variety to choose from each week. So if you haven't tried Green Chef yet, you can definitely use my code down below, which is COMMONTAGS135 to get $135 off across 5 boxes, plus free shipping on your first box. So you can go to greenchef.com for more details. And as always, thank you so much, Green Chef, for supporting this channel. I love the food, but it's time to get back to work. So let's go. All right, this is about 3 huge hauls. We need to put stuff away. Okay, I'm down to 2 bags. It is 1:06 right now. And so I've got those 2 big ones. I've already gone through these and then some plastic bags. So almost done with this. What are you doing? Were you snoozing in the sun? You're just having a good day? I know, my good dog. All right, I have a whole bunch of empty bags here. So I got my inventory done. So far, it is 1:45 p.m. I just got some pink lemonade from my fridge. So I'm going to sit here and work on this bin that was in my office. That box is a pair of shoes that was returned, and then that bin, I think it's stuff that needs to go into inventory. I also think there might be some returns in there that I just need to make sure they were returned. I need to make sure they're actually listed. And so I think I'm going to sit here and do that for a second. But so far, I started at approximately 6:30 this morning. I picked up or kind of organized a little bit in the loft before steaming, photographing, and measuring 13 items. I didn't set a certain amount. I just wanted to get some items listed early in the day so I could just kind of check something off. I did list all 13 to eBay, and then I cross-listed about 18 to Poshmark because I did have a few things I listed last night that I still needed to cross-list. So, and then I put away approximately 200 items. I didn't count, but it was 3 big hauls, and all the hauls were around 70 to 80 items. I'm sure I sold quite a few of them, or not quite a few, but a few things. So I'm guessing it was around 200 items. But I have all these empty bags. So I'm going to put a couple in my car so that I can take that with me to go to the bins at some point this week, fill them up, bring some more stuff home. And then I'll probably take a couple upstairs because I am photographing stuff and it's just good to just put those in bags before I film hauls, keep my piles organized. So far, I mean, I've been working for almost 7 hours. Yeah, just over 7 hours. So I'm not even halfway done with my work day. Also, did I get sunburned? I was facing the other way, but it was toasty out there. But I'm not doing bad. I'm not stressed about anything. I am getting stuff done. I'm not looking forward to another 9 hours of work. But I have lots of things to choose from. So right now I'm just going to enjoy my pink lemonade, try and sort through this bin right here. And I think probably I'll go upstairs, take some more photos, maybe come down and draft some. I don't really want to do any crazy batch work today. Like, I don't want to be up there photographing 50 items in a row. It's just not what is calling my name right now. So maybe I'll go upstairs and photograph 20 and then come down and draft 20. We'll figure things out. But so far, so good. I'm not sure I'll be saying that in 7 hours, but we'll see. Boo, what time is it? Is it time for you to go chase the birds? Okay, go get them. Go get them. Go ahead. Okay, it's 6 o'clock. I don't have the other phone to show, but it's 6 o'clock, 6:03. This all ends at 11:30. It all started at 6:30. I'm not counting 1 hour for a couple meals. I just finished photographing 25 items. So my goal tonight is to get all 25 drafted, edited, ready to publish on eBay. Half tomorrow and half on Tuesday. And then I have a little bit of shipping that I can do if I have extra time that is going to go with me tomorrow. And I also would love to spend some time on my self-employed app, which is where I track my mileage and my expenses, and you kind of delegate things. And I'm just really bad at doing that. So if I could get an hour or two of that in tonight, that would be great. But we'll see. I'm going to sit outside with the dog, go out in the front, and just start creating drafts on my phone. And that way she'll be able to run around. She doesn't like to go far without me. So, right, Boo? And this is our routine. So let's go make some drafts. All right, it is 8 o'clock. I have 3.5 more hours. I just made a late dinner, avocado toast and a tomato, just cut up tomatoes in rice vinegar. Dog, how are you feeling about life? Did you have a good day? Huh? So I have 25 drafts that I need to start editing. We'll see how far I get. This has been terrible tonight. It's 11:10. I can't do any more. I just finished the drafts. I accidentally published some of them because I'm just used to listing and not saving drafts. So I have 19 drafts that are completed, and I can list those the next couple days. But I am done. I will recap in the morning when I'm a little bit more coherent. Time for bed. I had my morning coffee. The birds are chirping. Good morning. So I wanted to do a little recap after yesterday, and I did not sleep well. I did just fall asleep in my clothes. I was just so exhausted by the end of the day. And I will explain why I don't think, I have very mixed feelings on yesterday. But first off, I wanted to explain why I did this challenge. So the reason I thought of it was actually I met someone in a thrift store a few days ago and they were saying they liked my channel. I always appreciate when people say hello, so thank you if you have ever said hello to me in a thrift store. And this person said they really liked my 16-hour day and that it kind of got them off their butt to get working. And I'm standing there and I'm like, have I done a 16-hour day? And I came home and I looked and I was like, I don't think I've done a 16-hour day. So I think it was maybe one of my previous challenges that was still extreme, but I thought, why not try that? Because while I don't think I will be as efficient, I have assumptions of what a 16-hour reselling work day will be like for me, but I've never actually tested the theory. So why not just test it? So that was the main reason, just testing my limits, testing my assumptions about it. I assumed that I wouldn't be as efficient, meaning I would probably start, at a certain hour, just start dropping off on being effective with anything. So yeah, I don't mind doing a whole bunch of work in one day if it means that I have time to do other things that I'm working on other days. So for example, Saturday, I spent all day showing houses, 10 houses, writing notes, communicating with a potential buyer, and that just wiped out a Saturday. And today I would like to get some videos done for my other 2 channels, which I've neglected, and I would really like to get some videos up there this week. And I just thought if I could just dedicate today of doing that stuff. So I think because I'm trying to juggle a little too much, I thought by having a 16-hour reselling day could help me focus on other things on other days, if that makes sense. So, and just basically, I try not these days to work more than 8 hours reselling in one day because of my assumptions. But I thought, what if I could squeeze 2 full reselling days into one? Would it be possible to do 2 long reselling days each week and in a sense get all the work I need to do to quote unquote be still somewhat, a decent sized reseller, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm rambling, but it's early. Sun is coming up behind me. Birds are still going crazy. So the last thing I wanted to do with this one is not to have so much structure. So someone left a comment on one of my past challenges that having so much structure with timers and lists and, basically a schedule of my reselling day was defeating the purpose of being self-employed. And while I disagreed with the comment then for many reasons, I wanted to test that theory by having a long reselling day with no structure to see if I could still be productive or as productive. And I guess my comment around that is I think one of the benefits of being self-employed is that you don't just have to show up for scheduled shifts or show up to the office from certain time to certain time because that's what's required of you, despite what kind of work you have. Being self-employed, you can knock out your work as quickly and efficiently as you want, and you can have more time off than you would maybe a normal job. And I guess I just don't understand why I would be more productive and more efficient working for someone else than I would for myself. Because for me, if I could get all my work done for reselling in 2 days and have 5 days off and make somewhat of a full-time living, that sounds like the dream. It would be 2 really hard days, but then I would have a lot of time off. So I wanted to kind of cover all of that in this testing. What did I accomplish yesterday? So I photographed, steamed, and measured 38 items. I listed 20 of those on eBay. 7 of those were accidental. So I listed 13 in the beginning of the day. And then as I was doing drafts last night and I was tired, I kept making mistakes. And instead of hitting save the draft, I would hit list the item because they're right next to each other. And I just don't save a lot of drafts. I just like to get things listed. So I accidentally listed 7 last night that I was intending to just save for another day. I did cross-list 18 items to Poshmark. I drafted another 18 items completely for eBay for the next 2 days. So this morning I woke up sitting in bed and I just published 11 listings that were already completely done. And it was just like bam, 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 super quick. So that was really nice this morning to just have that knocked out. I did pick up all my piles in the loft and most of the piles in my office. So I do have piles because I'm trying to keep things separate for different videos. And that's kind of annoying. It's just an element of having YouTube and that kind of stuff. But I did organize the space for the most part and just get it to be less stressful, less anxiety ridden with chaos. So that was really nice. I put away about 200 items into inventory. So I added them to my spreadsheet and put them away into marked bins. That's not that time consuming, but it's one of my least favorite tasks to do. And that was about 3 large hauls that I had just sitting in my office. And the problem with not having stuff in inventory is if stuff sells, that I'm just digging through random bags and it's a waste of time. So I'm really happy I got that stuff put away in inventory. You know, tomorrow I'll have more stuff that needs to go into inventory. It's always a cycle, but it's nice to catch up at times. I did sort through a random bin of returns, which has just been sitting there forever. And so that was good to kind of sort through that and just, you know, not have that staring at me anymore. And then I did have approximately 30 minutes last night on my self-employed app, which is the self-employed app is through Intuit. It tracks my mileage and it keeps track of all my business expenses. And they do not sponsor me, but I do highly recommend them. I do always have a link down below for them. And it's basically how I keep track of all my business finances. So when tax time comes, I have everything sorted out. And I think it's $10, $12, $15 a month, something around there. And the only problem with it is, even though it tracks everything, doesn't mean it's delegated the right way. So some of my driving isn't business related, so I want to make sure I put that as personal. So you kind of have to do this little swiping thing, which just takes time. And I was hoping to get like a couple hours done yesterday, but I was so fried last night that I couldn't function any longer, and I just didn't have the brain power. So was this a success? I think it was a success for the fact that I tried something different. I tried to test my limits. And I kind of validated my assumptions. I really dropped off at about hour 12. I was just like, I couldn't focus on anything other than I was watching a show, and I finally got to the point where I'm just like laying down on the couch trying to do some stuff on my phone, and then I pull over the computer and I try to make some drafts, and I was getting stuff done, but I was so inefficient with that time. I mean, I probably did, 10 drafts in 2 hours, that last 2 hours. And it's like, if I was just first thing in the morning when I'm like really awake, sitting at my computer, I probably could have knocked that out in 45 minutes. And so I really was dragging there at the end, and it is what it is. Would I have done anything differently? So I think the main thing I will continue to do after this experiment is have some structure. And maybe you don't have to do the timer thing. The timer thing for me helps me keep me off social media and checking, like doing dishes or checking my phone or making phone calls. The timer for me is like, okay, I'm going to set a 45-minute timer, and I'm not going to allow myself to do anything else during that time. And after that's done, maybe go do some dishes, maybe call, maybe check social media. But for me, it gives me a little bit of discipline, helps me with self-discipline so that I'm not as distracted as easily. But I don't think a timer is necessary for everyone. Maybe not everyone is as distracted as easily as I am. My family calls me squirrel because I am easily distracted even in conversations. So for me, really did not benefit from not having structure. I felt like I didn't really know what I was doing with my day. I didn't have a list in place. So I felt like I wasted time thinking about things when I could have just busted out a quick list at the beginning of the day, had a little bit of a schedule, and used maybe even just like 2 or 3 timers during the day to help me stay focused, because I really was not focused all day. And so for me, that's what I would do differently if I could. But again, I was trying to do something different. So my final thoughts, I definitely could have gotten all of this work done in probably 10 hours if I were really efficient and really structured instead of 16, maybe up to 12 hours. I I really think I could have gotten it all done in about 10. And for me, that's just like, you know, going back to a previous challenge, you know, if you're trying to calculate how much you make per hour, you know, you could work 4 16-hour days each week, and get the work done and just always feel like you're working. Or you could just have I could have a little bit more structure and planning in place and have, you know, 4 8-hour days and probably get the same amount of work done. And that would allow me more time to just relax and chill, which I think is really important for just being a human. And also time off. You know, I was trying to juggle playing outside with the dog while I'm, you know, making drafts on my phone. And so I wasn't really having any time with her. I was just, so that's my recap. I'm glad I did it. I will not probably try a 16-hour day again. I do think a 10 or 12-hour day is highly possible, and I would probably be pretty efficient if I had some structure. So I think probably the next time I try something, I'll do like a 10-hour highly structured day to see how I feel, because 8 hours to 10 hours is really not that big of a difference. And if I could get an extra 2 hours in one day, that could give me more time off later in the week. So that's probably what I'll try next, because I think that would be a kind of a perfect middle ground for me. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed me sharing my journey. This isn't really a day in the life video because this isn't a typical day. This is an extreme challenge for me, an extreme day for me. And, you know, I think it's worth trying things on your own. So let me know if you've ever tried a 16-hour reselling day, and, good luck if you do. I will see you in the next video. Thank you again to Green Chef for sponsoring this video. Oh, just makes my life so much easier. So the dog, are you sitting there staring at me? I know. Do you need to say goodbye? I know. All right. See you in the next one. Bye.